This podcast could potentially have adult language, adult themes, definitely drinking, and possibly the possibility of sexual content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Drinking with Authors, the literary briefs edition. Still waiting for an underwear sponsor. I am your host, Erica Lance. My co-host today is the amazing Bo Lake, and our guest today is the not at all tipsy AJ Super.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's a drink and a half now.
Yes. So let's talk about the remnants of what we're drinking. So I am actually drinking in my Alice in Wonderland. I think this is a Scotch glass. I had somebody thank you to the people that got me this. Okay. I found that Fever Tree has a blood orange ginger beer. By the way, this shit is amazing. So I poured it and I was going to put gin in it, but I put whiskey in it because that's more apropos to ginger beer. Anyway, this is the last of it. I put a lot of whiskey in it. It's pretty good. And then I'm almost done. Oh, and I'm drinking Nixie sparkling lime ginger water. Do you see how I coordinated these? Oh,
you want to know what's funny is the main character, her name is Nix. And
really?
I call her Nixie.
I absolutely love that. And by the way, this is a wonderful bubbling water. It's USDA organic, so this water is organic, which always makes me laugh because it's still, if you look at the ingredients, because it should say that it has this one does say organic lime flavor. What does that mean? An organic ginger flavor. Not organic ginger and lime, just the flavor. I don't know. Okay. I'm letting that go.
Nearby.
Yeah, because it's fucking weird. But what are you drinking?
I am nearly done with this bottle of Blue Moon.
I am proud of you because you grabbed that in the second half of the last episode. So,
yeah.
AJ, what do you have remaining beverage wise?
Remaining beverage wise, I have about a half of what you call the Reborn.
Yes, I've named it.
Yes, you named it. It is a book tale for my second book, A Star Reborn, and it's got 2 parts apple brandy, Laird's, and 1 part Chambord. I'm addicted to Chambord, so I actually added a little extra, a little bit of orange bitters and blue ice cubes from pea flower tea.
This is so fancy. This is like levels of fancy. I was so super excited I found this. This made me fancy. Normally I'm like, look, I put some whiskey in a glass. Help me. I will say that my new fridge though makes these little teeny ice cubes, and it makes 2 sizes of ice cubes. It makes tiny ones and large square ones, and I'm like so invested in this thing. It's amazing. Okay. Rapid fire questions. Are you ready, AJ?
Yes.
What is your favorite book of all time?
Favorite book of all time is Dune.
Oh.
Yeah. Something about the play of personality cult versus, religion and, all of the fantastical kind of elements. It's just kind of an amazing book.
I agree. I concur. What is your least favorite book of all time?
Okay, I have a problem with this question because I think authors should support each other no matter what, even though they don't like the books.
But here's the thing, just because you say it, it's not going to take it off the shelves or something. And if people are listening going, well, I'm not going to read that because AJ doesn't like it. Well, you're a lemming if you're listening and doing that. This is just we all talk about our favorite and not favorite books. That just means it's something you didn't like. It doesn't mean it's bad.
He's a friend, so I don't want to say it.
He's a friend. Give us a hint.
It's also an Athon Books. It's
okay.
Also produced by my
so friend, if you're listening, you know who you are.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Why didn't you like it?
It's very military and very very space battle oriented, and that's just not my kind of book.
No, that makes sense. It does. And here's the thing, again, it can be, your least favorite book can be for many reasons. And I think people should understand that. I said this, Brooklyn Knight, who's an author, posted a thing on LinkedIn and said, what are some writing advice that you've heard, right? So I posted my favorite piece of writing advice that I had ever heard, which is, you can walk into a room of 100 people and 100 people may love your book. 100 of them may hate your book, but you have to find your audience, because that doesn't mean every person you meet is going to be your audience or like your stuff. And that's the biggest thing about writing, is that, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that think that book is their favorite book of all time. You know, you don't have to like it, but they do. I think it's more, when you say support other authors, you know, I look at it and go, I gave them the money for that book. I bought that book. I supported them. So even if I hate that book, I supported them 100% by giving them money for the book.
I totally bought the book too, because he's a friend, and that is what friends do.
Exactly. So guess what? You 1,000% supported him in the best way possible. You gave him money. So,
and that's good friendship. That's good friendship.
And I'm not the idiot
always buy the books.
Yeah, and I'm not the idiot that's going to pay money for a book and then burn it because I don't like it.
Yeah. No, I think, you know, if you don't like a book, there are free libraries. There's all kinds of things you can do with a book that you don't like.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then someone else might find it at the library and be like, this is my new favorite book.
Exactly. And you know what? I think that that's really great, except for the fact that I bought the ebook.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. You have the book. Cool, cool, cool. Next question is, what is your favorite book that's been turned into a TV show or a movie? Like, where do you think they did a good job?
Oh, that's a really hard question. How are you supposed to answer that? There's so many great movies.
We love hard-hitting questions here. I'm drinking with authors.
I'm gonna say Dune for the most recent version.
It's very good. I haven't
seen it yet because my boyfriend, when it came out, I've seen all the other
Dunes.
You know what? There's a sci-fi tale version that's not bad either.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to listen to the book, so we bought the book and we listened to it because we were doing a lot of road trip driving. And when I was at a conference, so he's like, do you care if I watch it without you? And I was like, no, it's fine. And he watched it and he's like, you need to wait till the second one comes out because you're just going to get angry where it leaves off. He's like, you're going to love the movie, but you're going to get angry. So wait till the part 2 comes out and then watch them together. And he knows me well enough that I'm going to trust his advice on that.
He's not wrong.
You know what? I can respect that, because if he knows you well enough, he loves you that much.
Yeah, he does. He loves me that much. I appreciate him thoroughly. But that was like when he told me that, people have been like, do you want to? And I'm like, nope, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait just in case.
There's another one that I really liked as a TV version, but not the book. And that's the Expanse series.
A lot of people have said that. I haven't read the book, but I heard that it's very, very close to what the show is very close to what the book was, and that they did a good job.
Yeah, you know what? I got to book 3 and I couldn't read anymore, but I watched all 6 seasons. Like, for some reason there was a disconnect.
I just thought of a good question because I had a conversation with one of my authors earlier on this. What is the series that you think the author should have stopped writing?
Ooh, that is a good question.
George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones.
Hasn't he technically stopped
writing? He technically has done that.
Yeah, but they finished it and the ending is not great.
He says that's not going to be his ending, though. He says he's like, no.
Yeah, but I highly doubt that he's ever going to finish that series.
It's true. He's not going to. He's
I
doing his head about it.
I would not finish that series. I mean, with what happened with all of that, because I think not every person, but, you know, as a majority of people went series, you know, the 7th series, you know, the 7th season, I'm looking for the right S word there, was interesting. And everybody was like, what the fuck is happening in the 7th season? And then 8, everybody can unilaterally agree, just fucking dumpster fire. But I think, you know, if I was him, there's so much emotion about this now, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to go anywhere near it. If I was him, I
He should
wouldn't
just
touch it.
run away with his bags of money and just be like, "You'll never see me again."
Well,
know
he
what? He
writes all
just did
kinds of things. That's the
he
thing.
just
Yeah.
did a video game. So
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the people he writes with is Melinda Snodgrass. And I even told her that. I'm like, if I was him, I wouldn't finish that damn book. I would just walk away. Because how do you finish it? What about one where you wish they had kept going and they stopped?
oh, you know what? Anne McCaffrey has this like ongoing like in-world kind of thing going on with the companions and all of that jazz. And I wish she'd write more of those. Because I love the fact that that is the first like queer experience that I have ever had in my life. And not to mention, you know, the companions and the I forget what they're called. They're the people that they bond with.
Yeah.
They have a relationship that is very close to like a demisexual or a demi-romantic relationship that I really, really related to. And I wanted that kind of friendship / relationship / you know, romance as well. And I really think that I want more of those kinds of books.
You should
In
send
general.
her a message. She's very
She's-
receptive to her fans.
Anne McCaffrey died
Did Anne McCaffrey die? Am I thinking
in
of somebody else?
2011.
I'm looking this up. I don't believe you.
Look it up.
I'm also not spelling well.
November 2011.
Oh, that's sad. That's not who I'm thinking of. Who am I thinking of? Who did she write with? Oh, Margaret. No. Who am
Are
I
you thinking of Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman?
No, I'm thinking of somebody else. I was just having a conversation about this other person today. That's too sad that she died. Oh my God, who am I thinking of? Never mind. I'll think of it in a minute. Too much
You know
whiskey.
what? There is a series of books that I can't remember the name of that she wrote with someone else, or maybe that was Mercedes Lackey.
That's who I'm thinking of. Mercedes Lackey. She's still alive. Loves to hear from her fans. That's who I was thinking of. Didn't they write together on the Dragon Riders of Pern?
Let me look. Do some music or something while I
You
look
know
this
what?
up. Like,
It's not Anne McCaffrey that I was thinking of. It was Mercedes Lackey.
Mercedes
Valdemar
Lackey is
series.
alive and loves to hear from her fans. I was just talking to somebody who was talking to her the other day.
So I'm talking about her books, obviously, because, you know, Take a Thief and Exile's Honor, and she co-authors with Andre Norton.
I'm telling you, reach out to her. She loves to hear from her fans.
Oh, that would be
to
awesome.
be fair, Anne McCaffrey and Mercedes Lackey wrote a book together. It's called
Are you serious? What book?
The Ship Who Searched. They wrote it together.
See, I know my drunken gnome knows these things. They just find the wrong post-it sometimes. They just come up with a post-it and they're like, "Are this what you're looking for?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then I'm like, "No, that wasn't what I was looking for. Go find the right thing."
I am so reading that book next. The Ship Who Searched.
The Ship Who Searched. Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
so,
that isn't the tongue twister when you're a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's many tongue twisters. What is your favorite weird food combination?
Weird food combination. You know what? I'm a real big fan of like Asian style and Asian fusion. So just about any kind of like combination of Asian whatever. So smoked salmon and nori, like salted nori, is amazing. And that's about as weird as I get, to be honest.
Well,
I'm
okay.
so not weird when it comes to food.
What is your favorite writing snack?
my writing snacks.
Yeah.
I love apples and cheese.
Oh, I love apples and cheese. I also love apples and peanut butter and cheese and peanut butter. People think I'm weird when I
Cheese
say,
and peanut butter.
oh my God. So
You
if you
lost
haven't
me. You
tried
lost
this,
me.
okay, hear me out because I'm going to throw a weird food. I'm going to help you with your weird food combination. My boyfriend thought I was nuts the other day. We were at his parents' house and he's like, I'm going to go get a snack. Do you want something? He's like, what are you getting? And I'm like, I'm making myself a peanut butter and cheese sandwich. And he's like, what? And I'm like, creamy peanut butter on like just normal like white bread with a couple of nice slices of cheddar cheese. And he's like, sure, make me one of those. And he had this look on his face like he was gonna throw it at me or something. It was bad.
Did
Anyway,
you like it though?
he
You know what?
loved it.
One of my favorite breakfasts is a bagel with eggs and bacon and cheese and peanut butter.
Ew.
Why? Because peanut butter is salty and it's creamy. I'm telling you, Bo, I'm making a list of things I'm subjecting you to at the next con we're at.
Oh,
You know what the thing is I was very surprised. Like originally it was supposed to be a joke. My husband's family owned a restaurant at one point in time, and their chef was like, oh, this is a prank. And he gave me this thing with tomato on it. I pulled the tomato off and I ate the whole thing. It was like amazing.
I'm telling you, people underestimate the peanut butter because it's salty, and a lot of times peanut butter has a sweetness to it too. And then you put it on the cheese that doesn't have. I'm telling you, dipping little sticks of cheddar cheese in peanut butter is like one of my favorite things.
I am so going to try that now because you know what? I really love that bagel with peanut butter thing.
Yeah.
So,
see, Bo, you're shaking your head, but I'm telling you, you got to try this. And
my husband is absolutely he hates the idea. He won't even try it. So, I get where Bo is coming from.
Hey, my other half is like, okay, you're making it, whatever, I'm gonna try it. This is what he likes to say.
He's like, a free sandwich? Okay.
Well, I will make different, like I'll get recipes and I'll try them, right? And especially crock pot. I'm a huge fan of crock potting things because time. And like I made a pork thing the other day that was like supposed to be a smothered pork, whatever, pork chops. And he literally ate it and he's like, yeah, so on this chef, he goes to the chef, I don't think this is a repeat. And it's not at me because it's a new recipe. I just followed the recipe, but he's like, this is not
He's
a
like,
repeat.
tell the crock pot, this is not happening again.
My dad is really picky about what he eats. He really hates pasta. He is not a big fan of pizza. Like carb heavy things, he's just not a big fan of. But when he likes something, he's like, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say he likes it. He says, this is a repeat.
Yep, that's what he says too. He'll be like, this is a repeat. I would like this chicken again. And I'm like, okay. And so now I've had to actually I'm like a throw stuff in together and sometimes like grab what's in the fridge. Now I've been very conscious of like, okay, if I'm making something, what did I put in that thing to make it? Because there was 2 dishes. He's like, oh my God, this is awesome. And I'm like, I have no idea what I put in.
I've done that before with my husband. I'm like, kitchen sink stew. And he's like, I love it. And I'm like, I don't know what I put in it. I can't repeat this.
You're like, cool. Savor what's in your bowl because that's all you get.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's rare, so you gotta like it.
Yeah. Okay, Bo, question.
What is your Starbucks order?
You know what? I like a dry cappuccino with oat milk.
What is a dry cappuccino?
It's basically less the foam.
Okay. See, I just say no foam. By the way, every Starbucks drink, the answer is no foam to me because I feel like that much of the cup is foam. So I just always say no foam, no foam.
Yeah. And oat milk has this like inherent sweetness that you don't really need to add any like sweetener or flavor or anything like that. So I very much enjoy my dry cappuccino with foam, without foam, with oat milk.
So and I'm going to say this correctly because people keep answering it wrong, so I'm not saying it right. What literary universe would you want to go into?
Well,
And live.
to live,
Mhm.
Mercedes Lackey's companion universe. I don't remember what she calls that in her books.
We're Googling in case anybody's wondering what's happening.
Yes, exactly.
I was
It's
just doing visit. You're forcing people to live there. There's some places I'd love to visit. I want to live there, Bo. Like
there's
You have to go there. You can't
listen,
write in
I
that
want to
universe.
go
You
through
have
the
to
freaking
go.
wardrobe, but I'm not staying in Narnia. Fuck that shit.
Oh no. And the overt references to like religious stuff just bothers me, even though I love the books.
Yeah. Well, him and
Narnia seems a little preachy.
Yeah.
well, they were very much, they found religion. Him and
That lion, yeah, he knew
yeah,
all about.
yeah.
Mhm,
He found God. Not that he was missing, but he found him.
mhm.
Yeah, no, I really like the kind of Valdemar companion world in Mercedes Lackey's kind of.
See, you're gonna have to tell her that when you write her too. What
No.
about where would you like to visit on planet Earth if you could go anywhere? Money
I
not
want to
a
go to India. Like off the top of my head, I have always wanted to visit India,
okay.
especially during Holi.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. What about if you could have lunch or dinner with any, are you going to say Mercedes Lackey? Because I swear to God, if we're going to
Anne
do this,
McCaffrey, Mercedes Lackey, Ursula Le Guin, Octavia Butler. Can I have all of them?
I guess you could have like the view and just have the
Yeah.
entire,
Everyone around a big table.
yes, yes,
N.K. Jemisin actually would be a great dinner companion. Like
very cool.
I love her Broken Earth series.
Awesome. Have you got to meet any of your literary heroes in real life?
There is a gentleman by the name of Michael Mamey, and he has been what I would call a mentor for me through this whole like publishing and querying and writing process since 2014. And he writes the Planet Side series. And apparently he's got some other books out recently, and he's working on a generation ship kind of book that releases soon as well. And I got to meet him mostly via internet, but we talk occasionally on Twitter. And he is just one of the most amazing and supportive and knowledgeable people that I have ever met. The reason why I went with the publisher I went with was because he recommended them. Woo, ding. And he recommended them, but not only that, he talked me through a lot of expectations to have with a small publisher.
Very cool.
And he's just amazing. Like I give him an acknowledgement in my first book, and I'm giving him an acknowledgement in my third book as well, because he's been like just like a person that's there in my journey, and I really appreciate that.
Very cool. So what about anybody fangirling with you? Have you done live readings and had anybody walk up to you and been like fan interaction?
You know what? I did a reading at Garden City, Kansas's library, and I actually had someone who had read the book. This was just when I had recently released Erebus Dawning, not the second one, A Star Reborn. And he came up to me and he was like, I love the book. I can't wait for the second and third book. And we just had a really nice conversation about characters and themes, and it wasn't really like fangirling, but it was very interesting that somebody had read my book and appreciated it.
No, I think, fans have to know that we truly appreciate them coming out, whether it's your writer, your, on the podcast when we run into fans and stuff. I think it's so much fun to get acknowledged because we do this to entertain and we do this to bring our art to people. And I think it gets to be very solitary sometimes because you don't get a lot of feedback on things, like you just don't, there's not a human coming up and going, hey, and it's nice to have somebody come up and tell them what the impact that your stories have had on them or how much they enjoyed them.
And you get that a little bit from my brain just went blank from reviews. Thank you.
Yeah, but reviews are a little more interesting because they're not generally guided towards the author. They're guided towards other readers.
That's true.
And so reviews can be dangerous because if you don't have a thick skin, you can't take on when your book wasn't right for somebody.
You know what the thing is I got a 1-star review that was one word: nonsense. And I'm like, that's what science fiction is. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of imagination. It's a bunch of, supposing what the future is going to look like. Of course it's nonsense.
That's okay. We've had people who, have written romance books where the person writes a review and goes, there's a lot of romance in this book. It's a romance book. It even says a romance novel on the book. And you're like, oh, this has too much kissing. It's a romance book. What did you expect? But humans, that's all I can say. Humans are freaking weird, man.
They are weird.
So, okay, Bo, last question, my friend. Go for it.
What is your least favorite genre and why?
Oh, well, that's the last question. I'm glad she's drinking her drink. Jesus.
I know. I saved it for last on purpose.
You're mean.
Why are you asking me that? Because I don't. Again, authors should support each other. But honestly, my least favorite genre is probably contemporary. It's just that, a lot of times it assumes we know what the setting is and the world building is and all of that jazz. And as a science fiction writer, I have to explain my world. I have to tell you what this world looks like. Excuse me. And as a result, I expect all genres to do that, right? If you're writing contemporary and you're in a coffee shop, I want to know, what the barista is doing. I want to know what the counter looks like. I want to know what the character feels about the table they're at. And you don't get a lot of that in contemporary. You get a lot of introspection and interiority, which is great, but I like more grounding.
That makes sense. Okay. I'm gonna ask you something nice to end with, since Bo is a meanie, basically. Big giant meanie. What advice would you give to young authors out there, or new authors, I should say, because it has nothing to do with age? Young, blossoming in the world of being an author. What advice would you give?
New authors?
Yeah.
It's a hard, like, world of publishing. Like, you get told no a lot. You need to persist. You need to develop a thick skin so you can keep on going. I know a lot of people who get really disenchanted very quickly because they get a lot of no's for query, responses. But the thing is you have to keep going. And the only way you're ever going to see something you love, something that you wrote, part of your heart, out in the world, is if you persist.
Very true. Very, very true. I love it. Okay, shameless self-promotion time. How do people find you?
Okay, I am at All Brevity Wit on Twitter, at Angela J Super on Instagram and TikTok, and you can find my newsletter at sword fights and space flights.substack.com. And what else? Oh, I am at ajsuper.com. That's my website. And you can find me on Amazon. Just Google Erebus Dawning and you'll find the pretty purple cover, and you can buy my book there.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much for being on the podcast with us.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I've had so much fun.
We're so glad. Guys, this has been Drinking with Authors, the Literary Briefs edition. Don't forget to like, subscribe, post, leave comments. We'd love to hear everything from you. Well, almost everything. You know what I'm talking about. My co-host has been the amazing Bo Lake. Our guest has been AJ Super. We will see you guys next time.